Good morning, everyone. What I'll be speaking is very elementary, and I guess we need to go back to our elementary lessons, which we need to learn. And now that we are talking about policy, food grains rotting in our godowns, and which has become unfit for human population, the same thing gets transferred to another state, which goes to the people's, to the households through the ration shops. So here we have a situation where we have food which we are unable to deliver to the required people, and the food which is unfit gets delivered, and at another part of the country we have starvation deaths. So it's not that we don't have policies, we have policies, extremely good policies, but how do we put it into practice, and what are the difficulties we generally face in implementation of these agricultural policies is an issue I guess we all need to ponder upon. And believe me, agriculture is not only related to agriculture department. That is the misconception which prevails in government, unfortunately. Okay, this is basically the IT policy of Government of Kerala. Just a basic introduction to some of the important points in this IT policy. IT policy looks at an all-inclusive e-state, trying to reach out to all the disadvantaged sections of the society, and also trying to include all the marginalized, so-called marginalized sections in the entire transformation process. So these are some of the points which we are all aware of, but this is all good in books, but when we come to practice, this is generally not followed. And one of the basic things is building upon existing systems, and how do we integrate the newer technologies with the existing systems. So suddenly you can't go to a farmer and give him an iPad and say that, this is the technology, you start using it. A person who has not seen a telephone, you can't just jump on to the next level of technology. So how do you integrate the existing systems and build upon the, the newer technologies which is coming in? And how do you make the marginalized groups access this technology? That's the biggest challenge. Promoting local content. So most of the content here is alien to the people there down on the ground. So how do you make localized content and make them understand in their own language? How do you build capacity for the people to start utilizing this technological, advances? Try to build up some realistic technologies and try to integrate to the existing systems and try to make the existing systems better. So these are some of the policies which we are all aware of, which is very well written in all our policy documents. And what next comes out of this is also quite well written. We are looking at establishing a market chain of having all the stakeholders in this entire process come on board and have a very good market chain so that the vendors, the buyers, all are on one platform and talk to each other very effectively. We need to, like Mr. Michael was mentioning about the improved agricultural practices, how do we let the marginalized sections access this agricultural practices, or is it just that we hear debate in many of our forums and ultimately the people there who are supposed to implement this are totally unaware? How do we ensure that the middlemen who are ruling the roost at many of the places here in our country, how do we reduce their role? How do we pass across the information relating to the agriculture to the farmer who is supposed to get it? How do we maintain the financial sustainability of all the systems which we are bringing into agriculture? How do we put in good investment and ensure that we have a good ROI? How do we integrate various stakeholders and ensure effective networking so that all the information, the benefits are passed on to the beneficiary? So these are some of the challenges which we all face in implementation of any of the e-governance activity, not only agriculture, because there are a lot of things which are happening parallelly in silos which are not talking to each other. So how do we bring across a platform where we can use the existing platform to feed this main platform, and this main platform will pass on the benefits ultimately to the beneficiary? So these are some of the initiatives which are basically all award-winning initiatives of the Government of Kerala, which have been talking to the beneficiary parallelly without, very good integration. So now we are in the process of trying to integrate all these good practices and ensure that we come across a system which will be the only system through which a farmer or any other merchant or anybody can get benefited from. So we are trying to work towards that platform. So Kisan is a very successful initiative where there's a lot of knowledge sharing on various activities related to agriculture. Virtual University for Agricultural Trade is another very good platform. E-Krishi, which is also a very good platform to get the merchants and the sellers to one particular table. But these are all working in various silos. How do we try to integrate is the biggest challenge which we are facing now. So this is basically an Akshaya Center, which is a citizen service center, which is commonly known here as. So these centers are very common to people because we have one center in one panchayat and sometimes two such centers in the panchayat. So this is a common center where people can just go and try to get services of the government. So we are trying to improve the mechanism of delivery of services through these Akshaya centers. And initially we have tried agriculture in the last year where we converted these centers into E-Krishi info centers where all the information related to agriculture was given to the people through these centers. And this was very successful because various stakeholders in agriculture were brought together, and this was just one center which could talk to the farmer. So these are some of the screenshots of the various initiatives which are happening. And now what we are planning to do as a project of E-Krishi is, we are trying to, E-Krishi was, I don't know if you are not aware of this, is a UNDP project which was tried initially in few districts in Kerala. Now government has taken a conscious decision of rolling it out throughout the entire state, for which we are trying to integrate various stakeholders in the agriculture sector, come together and try to address the issue which was pointed out by Mr. Michael. So in the first phase, we try to project Akshaya centers as the center for delivery of services relating to agriculture to the people. And in the second phase, after a successful pilot, Government of Kerala has taken a decision to implement this as a project across the state. So how do we get various stakeholders like the Animal Husbandry Department, Agricultural Department? Agriculture itself has about 10 to 12 sections. So how do we get everybody together is a big challenge. So now as a second phase, we've developed a good software which will give details of all the agricultural produce in a particular area, district-wise, panchayat-wise, block-wise. So this is up to the Agriculture Department now to take it up and run this project forward. So what is the way forward? Having said all that, the way forward would be, in very basic terms, integrate the existing players in agriculture. Any kind of department needs to come together, and if the intention is to serve the citizen and the farmer, and we all need to come together and ensure that we have a common platform for a delivery, for delivery of services. Build upon established systems. Suddenly we can't jump onto a new technology without taking people into confidence. So we need to, if a particular system is established, try to use that. If it is not established, try to modify it or take a decision to slowly fade it out. We should have a common portal for all agriculture related activities. There are umpteen number of portals which are giving various services, various schemes, various informations. How do we integrate all of this together and ensure that we have a common portal, and the agriculturist or the farmer just needs to go to this portal and ensure that all his schemes and queries are addressed. We can use the common service centers that the Government of India is trying to put up across the country as one of the centers for dissemination of information, or any kind of reply farmer or any kind of query he has. All these issues could be addressed at this common service center. And with the new technologies coming into place like mobile and other 3G and 4G technologies coming in, we need to implement all this in a very phased manner for benefit to the agricultural farmers, and not just jump on to the technology. And once we start implementing technology without the back end properly supporting us and building up the capacity amongst the farmers, we'll definitely not be able to get the achieved results. So having said that, thanks a lot for a patient hearing.